Welcome back, sis, to the Eldest Daughter's Revolution. Take a slow breath with me. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let's just soften into this moment together. Today, I want to share one simple question that has the power to completely change the way you make decisions, not just in your relationships or your work, but in your entire life. That question is this working for me? Now, before we go deeper, I want you to know that you have an internal guidance system, a sacred compass within you that always knows the way. Now, this isn't about overthinking or making the perfect choice. It's about learning to strengthen your connection with that guidance. Because when you do, you begin to move through life with more ease, peace, and clarity, no matter what's going on around you. Over the years, I've had the pleasure to support many eldest daughters and caregivers who were deeply intuitive, but disconnected from that inner wisdom, that inner guidance. They could feel everyone else's needs, but when it came to tuning into their own, it often felt cloudy, distant, or even unsafe to do so. And I get it. I was that woman too. When I first started my own healing journey, I realized how often I made decisions from obligation, guilt, and even survival. I knew how to push through, but I didn't know how to pause. I didn't know how to ask myself, is this working for me? And even when I did, I didn't always know how to really hear the answer. That's where so many of us, eldest daughters, caregivers, that's where many of us get stuck. We make up all these excuses and reasons preventing us from tuning into that part of ourselves. We tell ourselves we're too busy to slow down. Been there, okay? We think we're not disciplined enough to stay consistent with things like journaling or meditation. Some of us even start to believe we're not spiritual enough or intuitive enough to really tap into and hear the guidance within. But here's the truth. That's not why we struggle to tune in at all. The real reason is that at some point in your life, listening to yourself just didn't feel safe. Maybe you spoke up and you were told you were being too sensitive. Maybe you wanted to rest, to honor your body's need for rest, and someone called you lazy. Or maybe you tried to follow what felt right to you and it disappointed someone you loved. So through all of these experiences, your nervous system learned that it was safer to stay tuned out, to keep doing, to keep giving, to keep fixing, instead of tuning in. Even now, when you try to slow down, that old programming kicks in. Maybe your body tenses up, your mind starts listing all the things you should be doing. I'm laughing because that comes up for me as well. And that discomfort, that restlessness, makes you think that you're doing something wrong, right? By choosing to rest. But you're not doing anything wrong. When you choose to tune in to that part of you, you're simply returning home to yourself. Your body is learning that it's finally safe to listen again, right? To pay attention to what your emotions, what your body is trying to tell you. The real transformation comes when you not only ask the question, is this working for me? But also listen to your body for the answer and to connect with your intuition. Your body is wise. It speaks through sensation, through tension, through ease, through heaviness and lightness, contraction and expansion. So when something isn't working, your body might feel tight or heavy or anxious. When something is aligned, you'll feel grounded, clear, even light, even if the next step that you're planning to take still feels a little scary. Your intuition often speaks softly. It might come as a whisper, as a deep sense of knowing, or a sense of peace that doesn't really need to be explained. You just feel it. You just know. It's that part of you that already knows what's right for you, even when your logical mind doesn't. When you start listening to that consistently, gently, without judgment, you begin to rebuild trust with yourself. You begin to notice where your yes has been forced and where your no has been swallowed to keep the peace. You start to see how many of your choices were built around keeping others comfortable instead of keeping yourself connected. And little by little, something shifts. Your body relaxes. Your mind quiets. Your decisions start to feel peaceful, not pressured by other people's expectations. That's what flow really is. When your energy, your choices, and your truth all move in the same direction. It's not perfection, it's alignment. So for this week's practice, I want you to try this. When something comes up, a request, a decision, an opportunity, pause and ask yourself, is this working for me? Then take a deep breath. Don't rush to answer with your mind, but instead listen with your body. Notice how it feels. Tight or open, heavy or light, restless or calm. That's your guidance. That's your truth. And every time you honor it, Even in small ways, you strengthen your connection to that sacred inner compass. You strengthen your connection to your internal guidance. So if you're ready to deepen that connection and experience what life feels like when you're living guided by peace instead of pressure, I invite you to join me for Flow, a radical self-love journey for eldest daughters and caregivers. Together, we will explore what it feels like to live a life of joy, ease, flow, peace, and harmony in your relationships without having to sacrifice yourself or sacrificing the love and the commitment that you have for your loved ones. We kick off next Saturday. So if this is of interest to you, if this resonates with you, click the link below to learn more. And until we see each other again, live boldly, love yourself radically, and remember, you have the power to rewrite your story and live a life that lights you up. Until I see you again, you be well. Peace.